say it's almost Thanksgiving. If you celebrate it, if you don't celebrate it, it's coming upon the holidays. We just want to say hello. We want to send you some positive love. This is another episode of the Drama Free Black Love series. It's a discussion about healing and restoration of relationships within the Black community with a licensed therapist, none other than the Dr. Alicia. Dr. Alicia, tell them who you are.
I am Dr. Alicia, and I am a therapist. I'm also a social worker and a college professor, and I work with couples. I also work with individuals, and I'm here today with you to talk about relationships. How you
Yes.
doing, Jasmine? How's your week been?
I'm I'm doing good. This has been a very festive week. My weekend was good. I went to the gala called the Cosign Mag Awards in Dallas. It had all the influencers. I don't know if you're familiar with Latarian Whitfield. He has a podcast called what is his podcast called? Dear Future Wifey.
Ah, all right.
He's out in Dallas and he won. So it's like it was inspiring to see his podcast win. And he's been doing nothing but talk about, healthy black love, healthy relationships overall. And I also got a chance to what did I do this weekend? I also got a chance to hang out with like a bunch of black women and we were just loving each other and I got to see Wakanda. That was a great movie. I cried a couple of times. I was actually embarrassed with how much I cried.
Wow. You cried at the funeral at the beginning.
I cried. Okay, so I don't know what happened. I missed the funeral, but when the mom died, that's when it started. And it just kept going. And when the woman, so like I'm a technology woman, like I love tech, I love everything about technology, cell phones. Like when I saw that black woman be acting like she was Iron Man and like she was doing the stuff with the cells, and then they went and got the girl from the college. I don't know none of their names. I just know they were black women. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so inspired. I feel amazing. I love the fact that like black women are empowered to not only be talking about technology, but like they're saving Wakanda right now. And I was just like, this is a beautiful movie. And I just was crying. Like the more technology was in the movie, the more I cried because I was like, I didn't have movies like this growing up that empowered the technology in me or like to empower the woman in STEM in me. And I was just like, this is amazing.
I can't even imagine being an engineering major, how lonely that felt for you because nobody looks like you. No one, I mean, I really wish, and believe it or not, I have a technical brain. I probably could have been a
Mm.
really good engineer or anywhere in the STEM area and done very well. But I'm so socialized into this therapist role, taking care of people role. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like I have the capacity to do that sort of thing. It just was never encouraged, and I didn't see that sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I did see the movie, and I thought it was better. It was better than I anticipated it would be. Like I knew it was going to be a good movie because come on, it's the Black Panther. And I also knew that from the video, people were kind of upset that it was going to be a female Black Panther. But if you
Mm.
read comic books, the comic books told us that eventually his sister comes and he becomes the Black Panther. So people who were comic books fanatics, they knew that was going to be. It was going to play out like that in the comic books. But I thought it was excellent and exceeded my expectations for real. And there were moments in that movie where I was thinking, "Oh Lord, they're going to side with the white people against the Mexicans." I was like, I'm, I was like, if that happens, I'm out of here. I was like, this cannot be. We cannot be fighting each other. We both oppressed. I was thinking that was what I was thinking. But it was pleasurable to watch. It had action. It had drama. It had love. It had all the things that I enjoy in a movie. So I was thrilled with that movie too.
Yes. And you want to know something that I love the most about it? Like at the end, I cried at the end because he had a legacy
Yes.
and
Oh,
nobody knew about it. Like they hid the child. And I was like, I don't know. I think it's beautiful because he's going to know everything that his father did. He's going to obviously be raised around the auntie. the grandma, even though she's gone, that's the ancestor now. I'm just like, that's kind of how I've seen God work. Like maybe somebody leaves, but there's always something else behind right before that person leaves. And it's just like, we know that that's going to build the better generation to come. So I was so happy. Like, and he was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, why do I have baby fever? Like, what is this? What is this energy? Like,
Ooh,
why
okay.
am I like that? Why? But again, it was because he was a cute. He was obviously going to be like the next Black Panther, but it's just the fact, like, come on, Jasmine, you're 28. Get it together, girl.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part. It was a surprise at the end. I felt like there was something else that was going to be the revealed in the movie, and so I'm glad that I saw that. There was so many. It was a complete movie, but there was elements where they kind of left dangling for a part three. Like you could just
Yes.
feel that there's another movie in the works. There were some
Yes.
conversations that I heard between, I don't know people's names either, between the Mexican and the Black people that made you feel like this was going to turn out a certain way. So they didn't button up everything at the end of the movie, but it was such a complete movie and a complete showing that I was thrilled. And I had seen The Woman King several months ago, and I was totally turned off by that movie. I did not like that movie whatsoever. It had a bad taste in my mouth. I just remember
Mm,
like wanting to leave. I was like, get me out.
mm,
It was very tasteless, but I felt like this movie was like it just renewed my spirit. I love to see Black
that's good.
doing some good things, not like the woman king. I don't know what the name of that movie. I can't. I try not to.
So, from my understanding, I think that movie had like killing men or something. A lot of, I don't know, like what it was.
The whole movie.
I never saw it.
Don't. It's not. I mean, if you don't go see it. It ain't worth it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not worth it. But anyway, what are we
Okay.
talking about today?
Okay, first off, Dr. Vibe Show, greetings. Thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you being here. Do invite more people. In fact, if you're joining us right now, definitely put us a drama-free love series in the comments. Just drop a drama-free love series in the comments. So, y'all, today's topic was requested by one of our supporters, one of our viewers, and they wanted to know, is it better, or are single women happier than married women? He sent articles. He was like, can y'all please discuss this? I want to know this. And I was just like, these are really good topics. And so I'm obviously single. Then Dr. Alicia, she's married. So I was like, you know what? That means that we can have this beautiful conversation. And it's going to be wholesome. We're not going to be putting anyone down, but we're going to have the conversation. So the first thing, I think we should unpack happiness and what does happiness in relationships look like, and then break down the complexities between singles and married, and then, take questions from our audience. And hello, Miss Tara. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so you asked a question about what is happiness. I think you know what, you bring up a really good point because I don't know if happiness really is the goal. Because can we be happy all the time? Like, is it realistic to walk around and just be happy all the time? I don't know if that's very realistic. And I know I think the word we're really looking for is content. Are we going to be
Mm,
all the time? Like, content is no matter what's going on with my life, no matter what it is, I'm going to be just content with where I am. And so I think
mm,
the goal is really to be content. Is the goal really to be happy? Sometimes do you want to walk around being happy all the time? Sometimes not. So
mm.
I think that's the one thing that we need to pay attention to. What do you think about that, Jasmine?
I like that. I was told, like, you got to focus on joy. And when you say content, I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand. Like when you have joy, joy doesn't mean that everything's going well. Joy comes from a feeling on the inside, knowing that things are going to turn over. Like, yes, it may be nighttime, but the sun is going to come in the morning. So it's just like that entire conversation on being content, understanding the seasons, understanding that happiness is a feeling, doesn't mean it's a fact, right? Like, you can choose to be joyful. You can choose to be content. You can choose to live in a state of I guess homeostasis. I like that word. Like you can be in a state of peace.
Mhm.
And that does not come from other people. That has to come from you. And I feel like that's why it's such a good question, even from a therapy angle. It's just like, how do you develop that peace within yourself? Like a lot of times men be like, can you be my peace? I want a woman that's gonna be my peace. But like you gotta be that on your own. So it's just like that's just another concept that we want to break down as we're talking about dating and love and marriage or singleness.
I like that. I like when you talk about peace because it reminds me of the song. Okay, I'm a Catholic school girl. It reminds me of the
Okay.
song we used to sing, "Peace is flowing like a river." And that song is really spot on. Like peace is flowing like a river between me and you. And it
Mm,
really is, if you want peace in your life, you gotta have peace flowing through you. You know, peace is flowing like a
mm,
river. There ain't no river of peace. It's the river of peace in your body. And so if you
mm,
the people who really want peace, you're gonna have to let it flow in you. And when you got some monsters you dealing with in your body, you are not gonna have peace. Peace can't
mm,
exist when there's things happening when you're not
mm,
when you're not being your authentic self, when you are misleading people, when you're, when you're doing things you know you ain't supposed to be doing, peace ain't gonna be flowing through you. So I love
mm.
the whole thing. Peace has to flow through you. And if you want that, just focus on peace. Imagine peace flowing through you like a river. The song I sang when I was growing up. Yeah.
I love that. And again, I just want to take some time to acknowledge everybody that's here. Mr. James Sharp, he said, joyfully married women, not unhappily married women, are more happier than single women. That is common sense. Duh. Okay, Mr. Sharp, you coming in here with the bang. And then we got Tara from Virginia. So as y'all are coming in, throw us a heart in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. So now that we've unpacked happiness, understand that it's about joy, it's about peace, it's about being content.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the differences of lifestyles between married people, married women, and single women. I think we should unpack the challenges, some cons, and then some pros. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't read the article that you sent me, quite honestly, but I have read several articles about that before. So, over and over again, there's all these big studies that come out that survey married women and survey single women, and they ask them all sorts of questions in terms of life satisfaction on all these different measures. And um, when it comes to measures of contentment, when it comes to measures of happiness, single women score way higher than married women do in terms of happiness. If we want to talk about, however, they define happiness, which is more like contentment, and that actually married men are way more satisfied, way more happy. The indicators of a pro-social healthy life, indicators of that is way more favorable to married men than single men. And it's really interesting because in reality, when you ask single men and single women, what do you want? More single women are going to say, I really would love to be married. I really would love to to have a husband or a significant other. Where men are like, I don't want to, I'll wait to get married. It's almost like for men, it's a ball and chain, that ball and chain sort of thing. I'm gonna be locked down. I'm gonna be somebody gonna tie me up. All of these sort of negative connotations. When in reality, for men, being married is the best kept secret. It's the best kept secret because married men, on every indicator, do way better than married women. They are way happier. They're way much more content. They have better sex lives than unmarried men, believe it or not. They make more money than
Mm,
unmarried men. They are healthier than unmarried men. Just every single lifestyle indicator favors men. Now, when you ask women, women are drained more than single men. Single women, married women are more tired. married women are not as content, as happy as single women are. And all of those, and health wise, married women aren't as healthy as single women. So I think when you're married, we are socialized to put everything ahead of us, in front of our own needs and wants. And so I think it's starting to come out in a lot of these indicators that don't quite sync up with what we perceive marriage to be like for men and women.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. So marriage, believe it or not, benefits men more.
Hmm.
Even though women want it more when they get it, it secretly does the opposite of what they thought. So how can we help those married women that may not be joyful, content, or in a state of peace? What advice can you give them? What strategies can you give them that may be going through putting everybody first, um, just because they're married or just they have a family?
I think women in a marriage need to start having real conversations with their spouses about things that they
Mm,
need, about, hey, I work a full time job, you work a full time job. How am I going to be coming home doing all the cooking and cleaning? A lot of it has to do with household responsibilities. That second shift
mm,
that a lot of married women have, tired, expecting to
mm,
cook and expecting to clean and rear the children at the same time. So I think just with a lot of married women, they just feel just over exerted, and we're just exhausted. I'm saying we because myself is included, but married women just feel just way more tired and there's more things on them. And in my situation, I kind of put these on myself, because I
mm,
do have a lot of support, but it's just I got to get out of this mindset. It's funny because my husband always is like, let somebody else do it or just let it go. But I always feel like, if the kids if the kids don't have what they need, they ain't looking at their dad. The kids don't have what they need. They like, where the mama at? How come the mama, so I feel kind of like the pressure on me to make sure that I do a good job. And I put the pressure on myself, of course, but I do kind of in a way get subtle pressure to make sure that everything is okay with the kids. Like right now, they're leaving. They're leaving right now, and I got to make sure that everything is packed up. And I was late on this Zoom today, on not Zoom, but I was late on this live because I had to make sure my kids had everything that they need. Because if they didn't, then the onus and the responsibility is going to be on my shoulders, and
mm,
I'm gonna be chastised. I'm gonna be put in my place, and that don't make me happy.
mm.
So it's a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility. It's a lot of physical responsibility, and it's mental responsibility too.
Mm.
I have to
And
now. Go ahead.
do you do you think that it's a sense of like it's my family and I'm the one that can do it the best, so I don't want to release the control of another person or another woman coming to help me, or another, could be a man, that comes and helps. Like, is that the thing? Is like, I love my family, I know what my family needs, I want to be the quote unquote like superwoman.
Yeah,
Are you wearing that cape?
yeah. I used to. I used to back in the not no more though. Not no more. I kind of let it go a little bit because
Okay.
I just can't go all day long like I used to. So I was tired. I can't do it like I used to, but I have been able to relinquish a lot of the responsibilities in a lot of different ways. Toting kids back and forth to school and after school activities. Somebody needs to do that. Making sure that everybody's fed, everybody's put to bed, the homework is done. Um, Making sure that everybody have clothes. Does everybody wash their clothes? I mean, there's
Yeah.
goes into. I know you having baby fever, Jasmine. Maybe this conversation may pull you out of it.
At 28, I feel like I can have all the fever, but I'm honestly in reality with it too. Like, I'm aware that that's a completely different energy. Do you know? Let me tell you, I was at, like I told you, this weekend, I was with a whole bunch of women, and they were, between the ages of like 30 and 40. It's just a good time. There was a song that came on and talked about F them kids. And when I tell you, the women was like, yes, F them kids. I said, oh, that's how And they was like, yes, they at home, I'm having fun. And obviously, I don't think it was like they hate their children, but it was a moment of, I'm a individual person. I don't have that responsibility right now. I now want to just have fun, be in the moment, be in the present, and it's about me. And I was like, woo, do I want kids if I'm gonna be outside saying F them kids one day? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I
Let me,
want it like so.
man, let me jump in here and tell you. Every year, okay, I'm not a drinker. Like I don't drink very much, right? But there is one time of the year when I actually consume alcohol, and that is usually
Okay.
New Year's Eve. Okay, so Dr. Boyce and I, we usually go somewhere. We go on vacation for New Year's Eve, and that's the time when he's like, here she go, here she goes, she gonna have, and it only takes like 2 or 3 drinks to really get me going. But that is when I'll be like, man, F these kids. They spoiled. It's a thankless job. I'll be like, I just, it all comes out. Like everything I've been holding in for the whole year, it comes out, man. These kids, and then of course at the end of it, I'd be like, well, I love them a lot. But they don't, it can be a very thankless job. And they are so spoiled and they get a lot of what they want and they act like they're spoiled. And my daughters are princesses, and my son is a prince. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, the life is good for them. They just have no clue what it was like.
And I think, like, as you're acknowledging it, we'll see the social media post of like the beautiful family pictures, but we have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. And I think that social media has done a very decent job at making parenting look like it's a walk in the park, that, kids are amazing 100% of the time. They're so ready to take the picture and eat the cereal and be the next commercial superstar. But those are curated feeds, and also like those children probably have very good acting talents and they'll probably go on to be actors. But for the common American or the common parent, like, it's a struggle. Like, my sister, she has 2 babies, my nieces, they're twins, and she be tired. They're now 4 years old and she's finally regaining some of her life back, because they can, take themselves to the restroom, or they can do things on their own a little bit, of course with supervision, because they still 4 and they're just very intelligent for their age. But it's just like, I can resonate and I can affirm the fact that parenting is not the easiest job. It's very rewarding in the long haul, especially to leave a legacy. But it is not one of those conceptions like you become a parent and it's just gonna be easy. Like, you're literally conceiving and producing a responsibility for the rest of your life.
Not to mention what it does to your body.
Mm,
My last baby was what, 8.5 pounds.
wow.
It's a big baby. So yep, and all natural childbirth. So there you go. It does something to your body.
Wow.
It's really interesting because I had a sick child, my youngest one. She had a fever and was sick, and she only wanted me. So that those things happen, and you can't predict when they're gonna get sick. I mean, that was my issue
Mm,
weekend. I had a sick child this weekend. I had to try to figure out what was going on with her and make sure her fever was down. And of course, all they want to do is snuggle up on you, and they need
yeah.
up and they needed all that kind of stuff. But it's just, you never know when it's coming. So it's the unexpected part of that. And then even when she wasn't around me, I'm mentally worried about her. Like, oh God, is she okay? Did she eat today? Did she drink? Did she take
Yeah.
the medicine that I had left for her? So it's the mental kind of task. It takes a lot of mental effort, even when the kids aren't even around you. Thinking about dental appointments, medical
Yeah.
appointments. You gotta, make sure that everything is together for school, back to school. You gotta make sure that they got the pencils and everything that they need for back to school. It's just that mental burden that kind of,
Yeah. So when you say mental, I think it's a good topic, as we like navigate through this conversation. How does one mentally overcome that, right? Like, should how do you get those thoughts of like worry and like anxiety and like my child is like, is it okay? Like I'm not a mom, so I don't know. I don't have this like internal thing from my uterus or womb that's like going off every moment. Kid is sick. Where are they? Like how does one process that emotion, process that worry to where they can still live a life that doesn't add extra stress? Because women, we suffer from heart disease and like all other kind of things just from stress and worry and anxiety, all the other things that come with it from a mental and physical standpoint.
That's interesting. It'd be nice if we can bring somebody. I don't know how to bring people in. We need to bring people in to talk about it because I could just talk about myself. But when I asked my mom about it and I asked grandparents about it, um, they say that once you have children, you're always kind of worried about them. Like when I dropped my son off to college, I was like, "Ooh, I guess I don't have to worry about him no more. He's a grown man. He's 18 years old." But little did I know that was the beginning of more worry. Except it was different. It was a different type of worry. But he is a couple of states away. What if something happens? How do I know he's okay? So it's almost like go away, but check in with me periodically so I know that everything is okay. And yeah, I don't know that the worry ever goes away from what I'm hearing. It's just different type of worry from an 18-year-old compared to an 8-year-old.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So I guess that should free someone today that's listening that, yes, there's not a cure to loving something that you literally procreated. And, I think it just gets better over time. And I'm pretty sure some of that was like empty nesting. My mom used to talk about empty nesting all the time. Obviously, if you still have some kids, you're not an empty nester yet. But I think when you empty nest, you're going to have fun. You and Dr. Boyce are going to have some fun.
We
Y'all gonna go out.
have we didn't let
Yeah,
it stop.
ex- exactly. So it's just like I think that that's like a wonderful thing. So I guess we can now go to single women, right? And if you're single, help me out here. I wanted to talk about some of the cons and then talk about some of the pros, right? Because I think that, two can exist. Some of the things that I wrote in my phone and notes on the challenges that single women go through is comparison, loneliness, being dealing with ghosting or not having healthy dating experiences, having to use apps. Now we're in 2022. If you want to be find a boo or a bae, you got to use apps sometimes, which isn't necessarily negative. It depends on your experience, right? So I can put that in the pro and the con. um Navigating going out in public and praying that a man comes over to you in the aisle with chicken and says, "Baby, you looking good today. Would you please be mine? I would like to take you today." That is a thing that single women do. And y'all know you do it because I be doing it too. You go outside, you're like, "Lord, he gonna come talk to me in the chicken aisle. He gonna come say something. I just know. I know he coming today." Girl, you go in that store, he don't even do nothing. He be walking right outside. He put his card in and walk away. You be like, "Dang, you was fine." Now you gotta approach him or say something or drop your seasoning in front of him or drop some paper plates or something. Get his attention. I don't know. The other things that I said was leaning on your girlfriends in that time, right? And sometimes those relationships may not be the healthiest. I know for myself, and we can kind of go back through all of them. We can start there. I know for myself, when I'm in my single season and when I have my friend girls, depending on the season in which they're in, they're super supportive of it, or they're like, you need to focus on yourself and love yourself. I'd be like, "Dang, girl, we can't have a talk and talk about these men and these fine men on TikTok. Like, we really can't go there." So it's just like it depends on the seasons of your relationships with your girls, on how they handling either they season of singleness or in a relationship or marriage. So it's just like, I can't say that anyone is happier or more happier than the other. I'm just gonna say like those are some of the common narratives that single women may have from a con perspective. Now, let's think about some pros. I ain't got nobody that I got to answer to. Now, I'm not saying that that is good or bad, but when you with a man, you got to practice this. I say this respectfully. submission and like, checking in and, seeing how that other person, like it's a give and take. You can't just move how you was once moving. You gotta move a different kind of way. Um, Also, like there's a level of freedom of choice and options. Maybe, you're exploring yourself. You get to figure out yourself. You get to, still explore more within. You get to take that time to do some inner work and to practice on the things that you love doing. You more so like if you're in a relationship, then it's an hour thing. Like, what do we like doing together? How do we navigate our time? I think you have more time when you're single, because when you in a relationship, then I think it's the not serotonin, what is it, the endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
You want that, you want to be around them, you want to be, it's cuffing season, y'all. Listen, I did a post on Facebook, we are still in the drafts, we are still in drafting season. We pray for y'all out here in cuffing season. And it's just like, you want to be around that person. I think financially, it's more expensive to be in a relationship. Yo, $10 Chipotle now becomes $30 because, maybe he's getting the tab or you're getting the tab, or, anything y'all do is times two, or if there's a family, it's more. So it's like, even from an economical standpoint, I think emotionally it may be somewhat better because you have someone to talk to about your day. If you are in a relationship versus if you're single. If you're single, like I said, you lonely, like you talking to yourself. Let's see, physically, woo. Let me tell you about that. And this is I'm a 28, so we can talk about these things. I've read and heard that the older a woman gets, the more, sexual desires that she develops, her body develops certain things. So when you single, girl, you're going through. You experiencing some stuff, you can't get it out. You pray for it, pray about it. I don't know. I ain't got the answers for you, okay? This ain't that podcast. But those are like some, like, I guess you would say, some of the pros and the cons. But I would say in both seasons it's beautiful. In both seasons, if you are in a relationship or if you are by yourself, both can be beautiful, and it's how you position it. But yeah, that's some of my thoughts on, like, if you're happy or single. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just depending on your perspective.
Man, y'all single women, y'all come get these kids. Come get these kids and let them hang out with y'all for a while. And then you be
And obviously no kids. That's another pro, or potentially no children.
oh my God. This is really interesting. I mean, you talked about making comparisons. Say
Yes.
more about that because I think that's
Yes.
so unfair for people.
Yes.
Talk about that comparison.
Yes. So, if you're not in a healed state, or if you haven't taken the time to go to therapy, or if you're not content, if you're not content in the season of life that you're in, you will get on social media. I've done it before, so I'm only going to speak from the choir. You can get on social media, and as the holidays roll in, you're going to see the Christmas photos by the tree. You're going to see the pumpkin patch pictures. You're seeing the Thanksgiving. You're going to see the couples. You're going to see the TikToks. You're going to see all of this wonderful Black love that is beautiful. But some kind of way your brain could say, man, why I don't got that? Why am I not there? Where my king at? I've even seen it on social media where it'll be a couple that's not the most attractive, and they be like, dang, they got love. Why can't I? Like, how hard does it have to be? And it's just like, comparison really is the thief of joy. And you have to ask yourself, you know, why can't you be happy for whatever that is? We don't have to know the behind the scenes. It's not our business. But if you are not in that season, when you get in that season, you're gonna want someone to be happy for you. So to be able to navigate that, I just think you compare when you're not in a state of contentment in your season. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Alicia?
Very interesting. Yeah, the so you're talking about the fact that you are comparing your life with another type of life. Okay, as a
Yes.
base of comparison.
The married life or the person that's in a relationship, like, it's really easy for singles to do that, like, a lot.
And some of it could be because society is kind of putting that on you. Because if you're 20, how about you said you're 28?
I'm 28. Yes, I'm 28. Yes.
Yeah, at Thanksgiving dinner, they're gonna be like, so what's going on? They're gonna be asking you,
Exactly.
doing? They're gonna be like, so anybody special in your life? Like you're gonna get those questions, and that's saying that they're comparing you to what they think, where they think you need to be. So they're making assumptions that you want to be married and you want to have children. That is the developmental task that's put on someone at 28. Because I've been 28,
Yeah.
and I remember having
Yeah.
a lot of that put on me at that age, and when it's put on you, a lot of us absorb that, and so we
Yeah.
internalize all of that, and we're like, okay, well, what is wrong with me? How come I'm not with somebody right now and not following a timeline that someone else has placed upon you?
That's good.
Making those comparisons, that's not nice. I think we need to start being more mindful of the words we say to people. I'm happy
Yeah.
that a lot of us have stopped saying, so when you gonna have children?
Yeah.
Married, they're looking at you like, okay, what's going on? And I'm glad
Yeah.
away from that a little bit because you don't know what people's situation is. You never.
No, you don't. And there's a lot of even if you are married and you're not having the kids, that's a comparison level as well that you can go through. But there has been so many more conversations on like women protecting each other, women protecting women. It's just like, hey, I'm having to do in vitro or I can't conceive. Like that's why, leave me alone. Like I don't want to, like, people shouldn't have to communicate why they haven't reproduced at whatever level of their relationship. So I think that narrative have definitely shifted more even throughout the pandemic. I think that conversation is taking place a lot more. Honestly, let's do some house rules at Thanksgiving. If somebody be asking you, where your man, you say where your man, because I guarantee you, the statistics, the people that be asking don't be having them. The people that have a man in the relationship, they don't really be pressuring you like that. It be the single ones, and y'all know it too. Put it in the chat if y'all agree that it be the most single folks that's questioning why you single. Be like, that's the problem now. You seeing yourself all over again. But in general, like I want to agree with your sentiments that it is society that had you looking inner at yourself and saying, well, you're not at a certain place, but this is a place for you to know, like, the best timing is always God's timing, and you're not lacking of anything at all. And for me, in my stance, I want to have and reproduce with the right person. I want to be, my goal is with the right person. Now, how long I gotta wait for the right person? Do I got the right person now? We don't know. We'll see.
It's cuffing season, so we got to see what happens in the springtime.
Girl, look. If I have some picture by April for Easter, then it may be something real.
Relationship is Instagram ready, then we know we got something, Jazz.
We'll see. Because I did that. I did that this year. I had a relationship, and girl, it was a 3-month internship. Girl, we was on Instagram having all the fun, and girl, I blinked and it was over. I said, "Wow, we can't do this no more. We may have to wait till we go to the honeymoon. I already passed the wedding." And then had a kid and then say we married. Like that may be what we have to do throughout that whole experience.
But even at that, you don't know. It's hard. It's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Hmm.
Interesting. So, what about You mentioned loneliness.
Oh, yes. I always love to be vulnerable with y'all because I think through vulnerability, that's where the relatability comes. So I cannot say it enough and stress it enough. The older you get, maybe the more success that you acquire, you will get to a point where you're like, dang, I'm having a special moment right now. I don't even have anyone to share this with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a very, like, I'm breaking through something. I'm passing this milestone. I'm reaching a new level of mindset. I got this good book. I wish I could talk about it with someone. I saw this thing outside. Dang, I wish I could share it with someone. You find yourself doing these very intimate moments with your friends versus like with that significant other. So when you get your significant other, it's like, oh, I gotta catch you up on all of these moments. But it was like it won't really be the same as when the moment was happening. It just won't be the exact same.
Yeah, it's almost like you want the companionship.
Yes, yes. And I think that's super honest. That's super real. Even in my life, there's been some really high moments this year. And your girl had to thug it out and just talk to herself and be like, girl, we did this. Like, girl, look at this. Look at what we're experiencing, because at this rate, it's just like you just have people that look at it, but it's nobody that you can come home to and say, you know what, babe, like, you was here in the roughest of moments. Look at where we are now. Like I won't have that story specifically where it's like, man, you was in the trenches with me. Look where we are now. I won't have that story. I'll be like, I was in the trenches. Look at where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even when you're in the trenches, if you have that companionship, especially somebody who's a lifelong partner, you
Oh yeah.
know that both of you are going to reap the benefits. So if my husband's winning, I'm winning.
Yeah.
If I'm winning, he's winning. It's almost like you kind of build on each other because you're developing
Yes.
a legacy. It's a way more. I will tell you, it's a level of commitment that compares to no other.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the Black Love series. We're trying over here. We're trying. We have to keep on going. The black man is an interesting species, I'd say. He's an interesting species. Miss Tara said that loneliness is the hardest part of being single for me. I don't have girlfriends to talk to or socialize with. And again, Dr. Alicia, that was one of the things that I was saying. Depending on your season, a lot of women really don't have wholesome friends. It just depends. You can have people that come in your life for a season or for a lifetime, but it depends. We talk about sisterhood and sis, I got your back. Or we go to church and the same people we go to church with, they be the one talking about. It's a lot. Even with black on black woman, we have some drama that comes in there. I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, not every person is for you, and you have to go through that process to see it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because y'all can have your friend group, but then
Yeah.
one of them gets married and you say sayonara to that one. And then you
Yeah.
and then there were two. And then another person gets all hooked up and coupled up with someone else. It's almost like your girlfriends are a filler until a man comes around. And then you
Right.
on it, you're like, see you later. I understand. If I was in your shoes, I'd be saying goodbye to everything. So it's not like it's forever. It's only like a holding. It's like a holding spot.
Is that the way it should be though? Is that okay? Should it be fillers? Or should it be like actual like friendships and like you navigate through that? How do you do that?
Let
I
me
think
tell
it's a
you.
good question.
Yeah, it really is a tough one. And I think what happens is that when you get married, your friends are typically other married couples. So
Oh, okay.
when you're single, your friends are just single people. But when you get
Okay.
married, your friends become other married couples. So when I got married, my first husband, all of our friends were just we just gravitated more toward people we had a lot in common with. So we had a lot of common with
Mm,
a lot of our friends in Chicago, and they were married, and so those became our best friends, and we would all kind of get together. All the couples would get together and we'd go out to dinner and we would play cards together and we would have fun like that together. And then one person has a baby, and then the next one has a baby, and then the next one has a baby. And then now all your friends are married people with children, and you have children who are the same age. So I have a group of friends who live in Chicago who their kids are the same age as my kids, and they all kind of know each other. They still kind of connect with each other every once in a while. And now that our kids are getting older and they're graduating from high school, and I love those kids because I've known them since they were babies. I've known them since before they were conceived, so it's just you just
Mm.
have affinity to them. And so that becomes sort of like your regular go-to people, because it becomes just someone you have a lot in common with. And your single friends, you love them, but you just kind of grow apart from them because you don't have as much in common with them. And that's kind of what's going to happen to you, Jasmine.
Oh, it already has, girl. Let me tell you. I have an interesting perspective because I was married for an internship. And when I got married, it's like nobody talked to me no more. And I was like, what is this energy? Like I'm still the same person, but you got married. I did live in Austin for quite some time, for like a year. So it was like, it made sense. Like that person that you're married to has like all this additional weight to be everything that all your girls were. So it's like, that's still unsustainable too. You still got to find a way to navigate through that. It has to, because that your husband or your partner can't be it. Oh, I talk to you about everything. Like they gotta have their moment for release, or you gotta have your moment for release. Like there has to be a release
Hmm.
for both of you. So I agree. It already has. I'm 28. I'm single. A lot of my friends are in relationships. I have best friend, one of my very, 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 very good friends. I love her to death. She's in a relationship. I don't talk to her every single day. We do a prayer call, try to get one in once a week, but she's there for me when she can be, and she has a person, and I'm okay with it. Me as the friend that got the friends that's with people, you just got to be okay with that.
Yeah, I think like going from single life to married life, there's an adjustment period. And
Yeah.
some of us adjust better than others.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's interesting. I've been listening to, I like a lot of books or whatever. I've been reading and
Hmm.
listening to a lot of Joseph Campbell. Y'all look up Joseph Campbell. That white boy
Okay.
breaks that down. And he talks about marriage. And he says marriage is a death.
That was deep.
Yes, marriage is death, because to really be married means you have to say goodbye to your single self. And you say goodbye to your single self forever. And you join with somebody, and you are not going to be the same person you were when you were single. And it's a grieving process. So you have to grieve your single life, which is why I like weddings, because weddings is a ritual to get you out of. That's why it's fun to have a bachelorette party or a bachelor party. All of those rituals help to mentally prepare you for the death that's coming.
Wow.
It's a death, because in order for something new to happen, something has to die in order for something new to come in. You can't be single and married at the same time. That ain't never gonna work. So you got to be one or the other. You can't have one foot in single life, one foot in married life. You're gonna have ain't no peace gonna be flowing through you when you got one foot in single life and one foot in the married life, because
Wow.
it's gonna be chaotic in your life. So if you want peace to flow through you, you have to say goodbye. You have to put that old person to rest, and you have to say hello to this. And it's an adjustment process. And it's just something that you just have to know that you have to be able to tackle.
And I'm also hearing from a single person perspective to give grace to the friends that are going through that death, that year to 2 year progression of whatever that is, that transformation. Like what they needed from you back then, they may not need no more. And it's like they need that time to like either circle back or to come back or to say, oh, I'm done dying to my old self, and
Mhm.
this is who I am now, but these are also the things that, I these are my this is who I am now. So I
Girl,
don't know, it's good. You're helping me to like even, just conceptualize what sacrifice takes place in order to become one with
mhm,
another person.
mhm,
And at first, like for me, I was like, does the wedding matter?
mhm,
Does the bachelorette matter? Does all those experiences matter? And you're like, it does,
mhm.
because it's preparing you for the death of what your new life will be. And I'm like, wow, that's something good. I didn't know that. I plan to do something African, add some African whatever,
Whatever
Cause
it
we
is.
gonna walk over some
Jump over
rocks
the
or
broom
something.
or jump over rocks, whatever it is. But I mean, think about it. You have to change your name.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to with these nowadays, but a lot of I changed my name. I
Yeah.
changed my name. I'm not even
Yeah.
who that I'm not even my name isn't even the same. I had to actually become yet another person.
Yeah. Wow.
And then when you become a mom, you're really not yourself. You're just a mom. no one even
Wow.
no one even cares who your first name is. You
Wow. I just see that women in general, even in this topic, there's so much sacrifice on us through our whole life, right? No matter what it is, whether you're navigating having being single and having friends, that's a sacrifice of some sort. Then the breaking away of friends and then getting with a person and the sacrificing of what it takes to be with a human and then the sacrifice of getting married and then becoming a mom and then some kind of way you got to also take care of your parents in there, right? That's a stage that we're not talking about as much as we should because it's either the nursing home or it will be like, you know, parent your caretaker. That's a transition of life for even your parents. So it's just like it just reminds me that we're not here for ourselves. We're literally here to serve. We're here to love. We're here to give, with boundaries, of course, as healthy as we can, of course. But we are not here for ourselves.
No, you're not. And so it's really interesting because why are you even born in the first place? I mean, think about being born. I guess most of us don't remember it, but that had to have been a hell of an experience. Like
Oh,
here you
yeah.
are swimming in water, and then all of a sudden you got to go through this little tiny little part, and then and then think about it, and then you have to
Yeah.
breathe air.
Yeah.
You have to all your needs were met in the womb, and then you have to be born, and then you have to like you can't even talk. You're uncomfortable, you're tired, you're sleepy, you can't even communicate that to anybody. So just think about that trend. That's got to be the one of the most interesting transitions ever, is actually just being born. And even think about being potty trained and learning how to talk and learning how to walk. Like what? Nobody's gonna carry me around. I gotta figure out how to walk. You're putting pressure on me to go to the bathroom by myself. I'd rather just not do it at all, So all of these
Yeah.
transitions is embedded in every single stage of life, and you're given challenges along the way. I mean, I remember um, dropping my kid off for kindergarten. Like they're used to, playing around now in kindergarten or third grade or whatever. You have to sit at desks and you got homework to do, and they got to teach you how to write. You got to learn math like all day long. I feel sorry for these kids. All day long they got to learn something new for 8 hours a day. They're being pumped with this information, and then we expect them to sit. I mean, all of that stuff, the educational system, all that along the way in your life is going to be nothing but challenges. And getting married is just yet another one. But it's a huge transition for a lot of people. And can you imagine getting divorced? What that does to you? Because no, you're no longer single. You could never ever go back to your single life. Here you are married, and then now you got to transition to be yet was a former single, former married person. Now you're a divorced person. So now you got to
That's what I'm saying.
start again.
I be feeling like I'm 28 going on 58 by my life standards. I'm telling you, when I tell you my life been really handed it to me a couple times. I remember when I was, getting divorced and going through the paperwork and, just being like, wow, like that person, he was my best friend for 7 years. I was like, wow, I'll never ever talk to you again in any capacity. But it's just like, dang, like what is this new life now? You get a stigma.
Yeah.
People put a stigma on you. I remember I was on a dating app. One of the things that single women have to go through in today's time, and it was this guy. I'll never forget it. He was like, are you single? I was like, yeah, but I'm divorced. I was making sure that he knew my paperwork was complete. I was legally separated forever. And he was like, oh, I don't do divorced women. And I was like taken so aback. I was like, damn, like he don't do divorced women. Okay.
Oh,
Also I knew that he was raised by his father and he considered his mom to be a deadbeat. So it was like even in that moment I was like I was experiencing a man that had not really trusted a woman in his life. And another woman that may have been with a man, it's just like whatever his conceptions were on that, that was for him. But I remember it took a stab at my confidence. I was like, here I am trying, and like now I got this stigma or whatever. And also one of the other things I remember is just like, what will people think of me? Like I am dating again. Like, are they gonna think that I'm gonna go back to the person? I got all this extra trauma. Even if you talk about therapy, people say go to therapy, but I've literally had people that question my therapy experience, and they're like, I don't know if your therapy working. Mind you, I don't talk to none of them people no more because it's just like I go to more therapy than the average human being, and I'm able to identify the things that I know I need to work on. But who are you to identify what's best for me? And you won't even go to therapy. So it's just one of those things where like when you are elevated, when you are growing, you have to be stretched. And one of those things, and hey Shamara, I see you, and Miss Peace Jones, I see you in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. You really have to have a level of confidence when you do become divorced. And I know Dr. Alicia, you've been there. You have to have a confidence to love again, to trust again, to want to go through that journey with another person, to give a man some things that you tried to give another man, and it didn't work that way. You gotta believe bigger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a whole journey. Being divorced is no cakewalk, and
and
I
you lose
stand with.
friends. You lose friends. People feel like
Oh,
they
you
get
do.
and stuff, and you know who your real friends are. You know
Yeah.
who your
Or
fake
they
friends
or people treat you like little people treat you different. But then it's just like I don't think people understand like when they're in relationships and when they break up with people in those relationships, like those pivotal moments of like when you were with someone and you're not with someone, you still need that level of support. And you'd even need more support. But most people don't know what to say. Because I have a friend guy who's going through a divorce now,
are. Hmm.
um, and literally he says that he goes in rooms and people are like awkward. And he's
Hmm.
like, just say it. Whatever y'all have to say, just get it off your chest. Ask it. Like it's like the elephant in the room that just because my relationship status changed, like from a marriage standpoint, it's just like it makes other people uncomfortable. But I'm like, why? I'm still trying to navigate on the why it makes so many people other than that person uncomfortable. But it's just one of those things that you just have to navigate. You got to develop that confidence. You got to rebuild yourself again, and you will never be that same person that you once were. You will probably love
Yeah,
differently also.
that's the thing that I hope a lot of people come to grips with is the fact that the old person is gone and you can't get that person back. What you have to do is take those experiences and integrate it into who you are now and
Yeah,
embrace it. Really embrace
yeah,
it. Know that you're a new person, but you're wiser, you have more substance, you have more character, you see the world in a totally different way. And I mean, there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes about
yeah,
it. It is what you were when we talk about being born, you were born to experience these things, I think. You were born to experience life. You were born to experience these things, to learn the lessons that you didn't get or that you needed to learn in this lifetime. And I think that you just carry that on. And nothing's wonderful than to talk to an older person who's been there.
oh yes.
Ooh, they so helpful because
I
they
know that's why I got so many seasoned people around me. I can't deal with sometimes the youth, my age group, we still lost. We still fumbling. That's why I have to I be with people older than me. It make me feel better.
it really does. It makes me feel like what you don't need to worry about. What you worry about something for? And it's interesting because sometimes I have to like even I do or sometimes have to remind myself not to worry that it will be okay. Like and I have to think about like when has it ever not been okay in the at the end?
Mm,
What have things
that's
not
good.
been okay? And I can't remember a time where I've done something and I absolutely 100% regret it and feel like I didn't learn anything from it. So there are no mistakes. There's always lessons learned. Whatever decision you make, you've made the right decision. Like, stop. If you're on the fence about something, just go for it. Just go for it.
Mm.
It doesn't. There just are no mistakes.
I
So
love that. Do y'all in the audience have any questions for Dr. Alicia and I?
yeah.
Since we've moved platforms to just Facebook and YouTube, we got to ask if y'all got questions, and we're going to work on a way for y'all to come up and join us. I know I know other YouTubers that bring people in, so we'll just have to navigate that. But for now, does anyone have any questions, or was this episode helpful? In the chat, let us know any questions that y'all have, any topics y'all want us to cover, especially after this amazing holiday season, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, and some about gathering food at the table. People gonna ask you about your business, so probably gonna need some coaching with dralicia.com, coaching with dralicia.com to recover from what may be happening over your turkey and dressing in the next coming days.
Just eat that food, and if someone steps over the line, say, "Oop, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later."
Be like, I just came to say hi and to bring thanks and giving.
Because you can't change
Well,
people. I think you should just try to accept them. You can't
oh
change
yeah,
grown adult people. Can't change them. Have fun.
yeah. I think after 30, 35, I think people are probably stuck in their ways in their 20s, but I feel like after 35, that's it. Whoever you're gonna be, you're gonna be. Question: when do you know or get to a place when you're okay with saying no? Dr. Alicia, you want to take that?
You know you are okay with saying no. You know you are okay with saying no. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so it's tough to say no because you're just saying, forget it. And you don't want to disappoint people and you're worried about what they'll think. So, one thing I do when for example, someone says, "Hey, Alicia, I would like to borrow your car on Thursday so that I can go on a job interview." Okay, suppose somebody, and suppose I'm busy on Thursday night and I have plans to go out to dinner. I think, and then you're put in a tough situation where you're going to have to say no to somebody. I think the best way to deal with that is to say, first, you got to connect with them and say, you know what? I'm certain I hear that you have this job interview and you really need to get to it at a certain time. However, I have another appointment that I need to get to at that same time. And, so it's almost like connecting with how they feel, but also stating your case and to say, I'm not available. But you know what I can do? Now you can offer something. I can call my cousin and see if maybe my cousin can help you out, but I won't be able to do it. And I think if you say no in that kind of a way, then it feels more compassionate. It just makes sense. So I think when I say no to someone, I'm way mindful of it. I just don't say no, I'm not helping you out with your that problem is your problem. I'm not helping you out. Like there has to be a way for you to let somebody down, but to let them know that you kind of understand where they're coming from. Like, I see that you need help in this way. I'm busy and I already have prior engagements. I'm not able to help you. Maybe I can make a phone call, but don't offer that up if you're not willing to do it. So offer it up to say, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me call my cousin, see if my cousin can do it. If she can't, I'm really sorry, I can't. If there's any way you can change your interview to Friday, then for sure you can use my car, if you feel comfortable with that. I mean, so I think there's a nice way to let somebody down in a way where you're just not rejecting them and they're walking away feeling sour and they feel like you don't care about them. So that's the one way that I think is a good way of saying no, because you definitely don't want to be passive and just say yes, yes, yes. And then meanwhile, on the other end, you're feeling kind of salty about it because people are walking over you. Anyway. I hope that
That's
answers.
good. Yes, that's so good, Dr. Alicia. She said, Shamara said, thank you. Jazz, I'm sorry, Peace Jones told me to tell you that she says you're beautiful and that we brought up some really great relatable topics. Also, Peace Jones says, a topic for the next live. Why are relationships not lasting? Why is everything so temporary? I think we need a guest for our next episode on that one. I'm
Ooh,
going to
yeah.
search some toolkits to see
Ooh,
why are relationships not lasting? Why is everything so temporal?
let's get a guy. Let's see if we can get a guy. Do you got a guy?
I will. I do. I'll get my friend Christian Fuller. I'll text him as soon as we're off to see if he'll come join us for that episode. I think excuse me, he has a lot of insight.
Okay, so maybe we can. So I'll send you the link.
Yes.
Now we're
And he
having a
just
business.
joins in.
Hold on, we're having a business meeting and on on our live. Maybe I'll send you the link, and then you could send it out to him, and then we can.
Yes.
I can get more than one people into this. Into
Yes.
that's a
Yes, and we're gonna figure out how to get more people in here. And oh yes, a guy would be great. Miss Peace Jones said she would love to join. Peace Jones, DM me and
yeah.
Dr. Alicia on Instagram so that we can get connected with you. So DM me and Dr. Alicia on Instagram at the same time. Put us in a chat and like let's get connected so that on our next show you can join us.
We gotta get Peace Jones in here. I can't
Yeah,
see.
she's super active. We want to definitely give her the details for our next show.
There we go. It was her. Wait, was it
Yes.
Peace Jones? Yeah, it was her question. So let her come on up and talk about her question. So,
Absolutely. So next episode we'll get you the information. We want the community to be involved. Like this is the space for you to have healing and to talk about topics that are hard, but it is polarizing to the black community and we want drama free black love.
it's about
Shamar said, can you ask another question? Are you ready to go, Dr. Alicia? She got
one more
one more
question.
question. Okay, come on, Shamar. Ask one more question.
Preguntas. Uno más preguntas. Learning my
I
Spanish.
know she's typing. Yes, she's typing her question now.
Now my kids are texting me.
Oh Lord, what they saying?
They want some money.
Oh,
You know
tell
what?
them, well, they need to have a Black Friday product.
I asked somebody to wash the dishes today, and I
Ooh,
got crickets.
not asking,
They
not
asked,
asking somebody to. Oh Lord,
isn't that interesting? Shamara, what's your question? It's been a minute. Shamara's like formulating her question. So wait,
yeah, I think they. Hmm.
so what are you doing over the weekend? You got anything planned?
I don't know. I've been trying to contemplate if I'm gonna go to Palm Bluff, Arkansas, or if I'm gonna stay here. If I stay here, there's a business networking event on Saturday that I'll go to. But if not,
You are the
one of
networking
these weeks.
queen.
Let me tell you, it's a season. We're God got me talking to everybody and their mama. I'm talking to anybody got something to say. I'm talking to them at
Oh,
this
that is
point.
so fun. Well, Shamar, why don't you tune in next week, next Tuesday night with your question, Shamar. And then hopefully it's related to relationships, why relationships aren't lasting. But we'll have time for other questions. So
Yeah, I'll ask. If you have a question, Shamar, DM us on Instagram together. Oh, she just asked, how do we as Black women be seen in this space of business and home? How do we as Black women be seen in this space of business and home?
why don't you answer that?
All right. So let me take my handy dandy glasses off because Shamara is giving me a run for my money. I think the first thing is confidence. If you don't believe that you can be a woman, no matter the color of your skin, that can operate in excellence in business and home,
Yes.
that's gonna take you out, right? And I think having structure, I actually developed a method of success while I was married. Hear me out, y'all. I got a good 2 minutes of a spiel. I came up with this PPCCO method for success. Every day focus on praying, profit generating activities. If you're a 9 to 5 or if you're an entrepreneur, creating content, focusing on your community, and other things other than working. That means sex, that means relationships, that means networking, that means going out with your girls. Like, if you can find the time to do those 5 things in some way, some will be 30 minutes, some could be 15 minutes, some could be 2 hours. Like, you can do the PPCCO method, starting with self, praying, acknowledging who you are, what you do, why you do it. Profit, whatever you do for work, loving what you do, loving how you generate income, doing some great content. We need content. We have to have it. It's a non-negotiable. Even if you run ads, that's content. Community, who are you called to serve? Dr. Alicia, she's called to help us to get through hard challenges in life through therapy. Like, what does that community look like for you? Are you a mom? Who do you service? And then other things other than working, girl, having some fun, getting your booty rubbed at night, whatever that looks like for you. Get all of that in. Washing clothes, like cleaning, whatever that looks like. That's how I would say that you could be a woman, not just a Black woman, but a woman that can be seen in business and home, because you're going to start with self, then you distribute from your overflow.
I love that. I heard a lot of self care in there. I heard a
Yes.
lot of grit. I heard a lot of
Yeah.
determination. I also heard a
Yeah.
lot of fun, carving out time for fun. All work and no play. That's not fun.
No, it's
Heard
not.
everything. There you go. That's a book.
It
There.
is. When I get some time, I'm gonna write that thing. But it's my productivity method for success for dreamers. And I
Mm.
know that if I've been able to be productive in this life, and when I was married, I had a test run. At a certain hour, I would cut work off, and I would say, schedule the date nights. Obviously, you want to get your booty rubbed. I'm just gonna be honest. That's a key thing in life. Getting your booty rubbed. And so it's just like having that holistic thought process. I think, that allows for you to feel that you've accomplished something, even if you just did one of those things a day. I
Mhm.
feel like you'll feel accomplished, and that you're not in this rat race of success. You're like, but I did talk to God today. I did spend time with self today. I did do something to get some money. Okay. My man ain't the only one getting some money. I'm getting me some too. I talked to someone other than myself. I've put something on the internet. If it's a repost quote, and then I did something other than work. And I think that you feel better, and you start to just maximize on that. You'll double down on that. Like, you'll get addicted to just doing what you love. So again, I ain't factored that in with kids. That would be another. We'll have to do a KO PPCCKO kid, and then and one of these days when I have that opportunity. But for now, the O is for the women that are already doing it with the kids. Y'all got to figure that one out until I can get to that journey.
Yeah, one of the things I love what you're saying is that I think if you try to take on business and home, if you think about it all at once, it's overwhelming.
Yes,
And what
yes,
you just did was you just kind of said, okay, you got these big goals that you want to have. If you just think about the big goals, you're going to be like, there's no way I can get it. But you
yes.
broke it down into really small steps where all you got to do is just focus on that model, and you'll look up and be like, oh, wait, I just accomplished like about five, six of my goals. All of them have been accomplished. How did that happen? It's like it'll surprise you how far you get when you just put your head down and trust the little process that you have for.
That's the process. Yes, and you can do one thing a day in that. You
Mhm.
know, it doesn't have to be you're doing a million things of all the same things. It's like, what did you do today to gain money? Did you go to work? Yes, check it off. Did you talk to
Good. Pat yourself on the back.
you about to put on a bag? Did you? This is content for you, Dr. Alicia, but also it's community for you too, because you're talking to Miss Shamara, Miss Peace Jones, you're talking to Dr. Vibe Show, like you're talking to people, and I'm sure that there are more that are listening, but for who I can see in the chat, it's just like you did all that, and you did with your kids, you got them off, you did what supposed to do. Ain't nothing else. Get your booty rubbed tonight. And I know that there's longer, but go and get others. Have a good time. Get prepared for Thanksgiving. You deserve soft life for you.
There
Soft life.
you go. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get my booty rubbed.
think it's your booty rub. I think it's healthy. It's psychologically and physiologically a great experience. And I heard serotonin and whatever the things that come in your brain. We all need all of that.
I
But
love
the
it.
single women can't. Go and reap the rewards of that experience.
Well, I earned it today because it's been a long
You
day.
did. You did earn it today.
I've been running since this morning. So yeah. So anyway, thank you so much, Jasmine. We
Yes.
will see
Let's smile. I'm gonna screenshot this so I can post it on Instagram.
okay, screenshot
Okay.
it. Yay.
Yes. 1 second. Smile. Okay. I took a picture of
Okay.
us. I'm gonna post it on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Post it.
to
I'm
the
gonna
booty
repost
rub,
it.
Samara. Yes, and then I'm gonna post it. So y'all see us back next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. CST, and we are gonna be following the topic that Miss Peace Jones talked about on why relationships not lasting. Why is everything so temporary? I think it's a great topic for success. So see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.